Britain has a long and colourful tradition of musical theatre. But the songs that echoed through London's West End in Cameron's youth sounded very different to Hamilton. It was on a birthday outing to see Julian Slade's Salad Days in 1954 that the 8-year-old Cameron Mackintosh first fell in love with musical theatre.
At the end of the performance, I introduced myself to Julian. He said, "Would I like to go backstage?" And I went, "Yes, please." So he took me backstage and showed me how Minnie the Magic Piano was actually a dummy. So he lifted me up, showed me there was nothing inside. And I went, yes, this is what I'm going to do when I grow up.
He was 8 years of age, and I said, "Is this your life? This is what I'm going to do." And he never changed his mind, which is extraordinary, because every child I know, he wants to be either a driver, a policeman, or this is not Cameron. He wanted to be a producer.
Homegrown British musicals like Salad Days may have captivated Cameron, but they paled in comparison to the exciting new imports from America.
The British musical prior to the Lloyd Webber, Cameron Mackintosh era was considered to be, at least by Americans, fairly moribund and really of almost no consequence.
But one day, Cameron Mackintosh would change that. His path to becoming the world's most successful musical theatre producer began at an early age, during his school days at Prior Park College in Bath. His nickname was Darrell F. Mackintosh, after Darryl Zanuck, the legendary Hollywood producer.
I was always banging on and putting on shows and going off to theatre. That was what my nickname was, so one of the nicer nicknames I had at school. And so I used to put it on the posters.
Darrell F. Mackintosh Presents.
Presents, yes. I used to charge sixpence to go in, but if you gave me a penny at the beginning of term, which I used as the float, I was able, you got advance purchase tickets.
So you're a producer?
Well, yes, I was a producer from then. I was barking orders from a very early age. You know, there was no doubt that's what I was going to do. And indeed, when I look back on my reports, most of them saying it would be really good if he actually paid attention to his schoolwork instead of his other interests.
Born in Enfield in 1946, Cameron, like so many post-war babies, was no stranger to austerity. His mother, Diana, was from Malta. Ian, his father, was a talented jazz musician. During the war, he fought at Dunkirk and El Alamein. After being seriously injured, he got involved in ENSA, entertaining the British troops.
My parents met in Naples. My mother was secretary to Nigel Patrick, the actor, and my father had been blown up several times in the desert and finally was repatriated with his trusty trumpet to work in ENSA there, and that's where he clapped eyes on my mother.
After a week, he proposed. I said, "For God's sake, I don't want to get married. I had so many boyfriends. I didn't really want to get married to anybody."
My father badgered her until she agreed to marry him. My father came back with Diana, and we lived in the big family house in Grange Park. You know, everyone was packed into rooms. So I was brought up for the first 3 years living in this house, having the most wonderful time with my grandmother and my aunts, and who would spoil me rotten.
What an extraordinary kind of grouping then that is.
I was lucky. I had a wonderful close family, as I still do, and we grew up in a family, and that's had a huge effect on my life. I mean, everything I do in my office and everything now, it's a family.
Cameron Mackintosh, could you hold the line, please? Cameron Mackintosh, could you hold the line, please? Cameron Mackintosh, could you hold the line?